Hello, YouTube bears. It's Simpson Michael bringing you a new podcast for my new segment called The 7 Crystal Review. Like always, I'm going to speak very loudly, very clearly, and very slowly in case you don't understand it. Now, now let's get into this review. Episode 6, Tuxedo Mask. Now, the episode starts off from what it last left us in episode 6, when Luna gave Serena the moon wand, but she called it the moon stick. So I'm just gonna call it the moon wand throughout this whole review and through future reviews. And Luna tells him this is the symbol of leadership, and that you are the leader of the set of scouts. Anyway, the next day, early in the morning, Tuxedo Mask, aka Darian, woke up for a dream he had about the Moon Kingdom. He looked at, he got up from his bed and looked out his window, at the city with a broken pocket watch that shaped as a star and had a crescent moon picture in the middle of it. And he said to himself, no matter what, I will attain the silver crystal at all costs. Anyway, Anyway, Serena, Leah, and Amy were walking to school. Serena walked ahead of them. She bumped into Tuxedo Mask again. You know, they did the usual two sets, like, you know, Devin said, "Why say gone by the head?" and blah blah blah. So Devin said, "Hope you're okay," and just walk off. A little later, a little later, Queen Bell, Kunite, Zorzoi, and a wounded Nephrite was watching a special news report about how Tuxedo Mask is going around stealing crystals and returning the stolen crystals that he took, looking for the silver crystal on Queen Barrel's magic ball. Magic ball. Anyway, so Queen Bell goes about bitching again about, well, we need more energy, blah blah blah. And Jedi said, I mean, Zorchai said, like, don't worry, I have an idea. Leave it all to me. Later, we see Serena and the rest of the scouts and Luna were having a meeting at the arcade, like RA, and Luna said it's very important we find the last scout, and once you find the last scout, we can find the princess, then we can find the silver crystal, and then everything will be good. Now, anyway, Ray was looking at Serena's favorite video game called Sailor Lee's Attack, and Ray had an idea. It's like, and said to Luna, it's like, well, what about Sailor B? Sailor B, maybe she might be the last scout, might be the last Sailor Scout. Like, Luna said, maybe you're right, but nobody knows who she is. But we have to find out who she is first. To make sure. Anyway, while they was talking, Serena was staring at her favorite video game, Sailor B Attack, and noticed that the little Sailor B video game character was using the moon wand. Now, this is when she started to hallucinate, because Serena has been having bad dreams for the last 3 days. So anyway, the little set of video game characters said, "You can do it. You can use the moon wand to the moon," and it was like a 1 minute hallucination. So the meeting ended, and everybody went home. So a little later, on a big jumbotron in the middle of the city square. A special news report was cast out live through through throughout the city. This weird newscaster woman had cast a spell on the city, or had cast a spell over the city people, telling them to find the silver crystal. So the people of the city were tearing up things looking for the silver crystal. Listen, when they're looking for the silver crystal, so the scouts, so Luna told everybody to meet them back at the arcade. Now, when they got back to the arcade, Luna was pressing random buttons on these two arcade video game machines. Turns out, once she was done pressing the buttons on these two video games, it opened up a secret stairwell that led to where she kept her supercomputer slash shelter room. Anyway, she tracked the source of this evil energy to the TV station. Now, Luna said, now, before we go, if Tuxedo Mask shows up, do not associate with him at all until I'm sure he's not an enemy. And Serena said, Serena was taking up to Tuxedo Mask. He helped us in the past. Well, clearly he's not an enemy, but Linda said, I'm not so sure. So until I'm sure he's not an enemy, do not associate him. So Serena got upset and ran off like a little bitch. Sorry, that's like a little crybaby she is. Anyway, the scouts and Luna went to the TV station, and they were on top of the TV station roof. That's where they met that weird news reporter lady. Now it turns out the weird news reporter lady was always like in the skies. So the scouts started to fight Zoidberg. Now on the other side of town, so a tired Serena faded. It was about to pass out until Tuxedo Mask came out of nowhere and grabbed her just in time before she hit the ground. Anyway, back at the TV station, we see the scout thought they had Zoidberg on the rope, but turns out Zoidberg was just toying with them this whole time, and unleashed a powerful attack that left them paralyzed on the ground. This is when Queen Barrow shows up. Queen Barrow say, the usual, like, I'm Queen Barrow, I'm the leader of the Niggerverse, and in charge of the 4 kings of the Dark Kingdoms, and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, she said, she is about to destroy them. Now, the scouts and Luna was calling out to Sailor Moon. On the other side of the town, Serena heard they cry, but she didn't want to transform it. She didn't want to transform into Sailor Moon in front of Tuxedo Mask, and she was going to transform into Sailor Moon, like you know who I am. Yeah, I know you, Sailor Moon. I know about you and the other scouts and blah 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 blah. And Serena say, I'm like, starts to say words about herself, then Tuxedo Mask get her ward to the carriage, and she finally transformed into Sailor Moon. Now she got to the TV station just in time to save the scouts. Now, remember the words that Tuxedo Mask said to her, and Sailor Moon video game character say to her as well. She used the Moon Wand as Moon Wand special attack, Moon Healing Excavation. That's a powerful beam of light directed at at Queen Belle, but Georgia, took the, got in front of the attack and took the whole hit and was knocked unconscious and badly wounded. So, when the wounded, so Queen Belle took away the wounded Zoisite and retreated and said, "You all will pay for this." Now, anyway, so Sailor Moon used the Moon Wand to break the spell that Georgette cast over the city people. So on the back of the other side of town, she was back at the same spot where Tuxedo Mask caught her when she faded. Now she passed out again. It was about to hit the ground, but Tuxedo Mask showed up again and caught her just in time again. Anyway, Tuxedo Mask carried Sailor Moon off in his arms. Now, on top of this tall wall, we see Sailor B, the crime fighter, and this white cat, with a crescent moon mark on his forehead, watching Tuxedo Mask walk off with Sailor Moon in his arms. Anyway, the next day, Serena woke was having a dream about the prince that she was dreaming about. Turns out it was Darien. She woke up from that dream and found out that she wasn't in her bed. She turned around and saw Darien, and finally she put two together and figured out that he is Tuxedo Mask. And Darien said, "Good morning, how did you sleep?" And that's how the episode ends. Now the next episode is supposed to air October the 4th. So until October the 4th, this is Cincinnati Michael signs off. 1.